This is the story of a young chimp, Akina, the king's son. His father rules the forest with an iron fist. Will Akina follow in his father's footsteps? With Kagosi the king in charge, the African jungle is full of drama at every turn. Little Akina has a lot to learn. For over 50 years, survival has captured spectacular images of the natural world. Now we draw on the very best to create new stories of animal behavior as it occurs in the wild. Akina is a young male chimp, born to the leader of the troop. In his rainforest home, he's grown up as part of a large family, 45 members in total. At first glance, it's a happy scene. Akina's auntie, Abili, has a son close to Akina's own age called Chippo, and she also cradles two young twins. Twins are very rare in the chimp world, but Abili's name means kindness. She's a good mother with a happy, contented family. Akina plays close to his mother, Zola. And the whole clan is watched over by his grandmother, 42-year-old Nadidi. Her name means patience, and she needs to be with this lot in tow. But this idling comes to an abrupt end when the boss shows up. It's not just his weight he's throwing around. Kagosi the king makes his mood clear. He kicks his aging mother out of the way and goes on to display his size and strength. This is a bullying tactic designed to intimidate all others in the group. Through his frightening displays of power, he reigns with fear. Now he's turned up, the clan's happy mood is replaced by tension. An older male grooms him to try and calm things down. If you want to be in with the in crowd, you have to suck up. Giving the boss a massage is one way to stay in his good books. Grooming your clan mates is vital to climb the social ladder, so Chippo borrows a twin for practice. Gradually, everyone gets back to their games, but after the adrenaline rush, the boys are getting a bit rough. The twin decides it might feel safer in her mother's arms, giving big brother Chippo the cold shoulder. Akina soon realizes that big boys play rough. He tries to get his mum to stand up for him, but she is heavily pregnant, almost ready to deliver. She's not in the mood to play games. In his frustration, he bats the nearest male, but it's a mistake. In a society based on rank, he has broken the rules of etiquette and gets a good telling off. Still a mummy's boy at heart. Being son of the boss, Kagosi, Akina's had a rather cushioned upbringing. But today, his life is going to radically change. For a a few days, his mother Zola disappears into the trees to give birth. For the first 24 hours after the birth, Zola is cautious about introducing her tiny baby to the family. But finally, she decides to take the plunge. Everyone seems relaxed and happy, apart from Akina, who sulks, no longer the center of attention. Chimps stay with their mothers for anything from 4 to 7 years. Akina is barely 4 and only just old enough to go it alone. Like many put-out youngsters, he pretends to run away. But it doesn't get him the attention he craves. Eventually, he stops sulking and tries to join in. The mothers climb fruiting trees to feed. But the broad tree trunk's a bit big for his little arms. Even when he falls, Zola's arms are tied with the new infant. For Akina, this is a taste of his new life. It's late summer, and the drying vegetation keeps the troop on the move. Though Akina and the other youngsters enjoy their jungle gym and swing through the trees, the adults mostly walk on all fours. Chimps have pretty broad tastes, and when they fall on hard times, even the shriveled up fibers of an old palm flower can make a meal. Like a bowl of muesli, it's high-fiber food, rich in minerals. The twins are still on an all-milk diet and will be for at least 6 months, but they amuse themselves, sometimes at Mum's expense. It's not long before the meal's interrupted by a bad-tempered male. He has his eye on one of the females. But that's the forbidden fruit. Only Kagosi has mating rights, so he lets out his frustration on a tree instead. When Kagosi arrives, everyone scatters. The tension won't go away, but for now Kagosi turns a blind eye and leads the family in search of another meal. He takes the clan on a long hike, some 20 kilometers into the hills above their valley home. It's a challenge for Auntie Abili, as she has to transport the twins. But she's a fast walker, and son Chippo has trouble keeping up. There's no time to hang around. One of the females is in season and must obediently walk at Kagosi's side. He wants to make sure that she mates with him and no one else. Finally, they reach the promised land. On the hilltops, mahari-hari trees are fruiting, and every year the chimps pay them a visit. The thought of the sugary riches above causes great excitement throughout the troop. Akina can manage these slender trees and joins in the canopy feast. It's just as well. The family will be encamped here for 6 weeks until every fruit has been consumed. Akina still seems to look with envy at his little brother, but it's about time he learned to fend for himself. He is trouble. A gang of adolescent males that hang around together. Sometimes these coalitions of young males will use their combined strength to overpower the leader and get what they want, females. But Kagosi isn't an easy pushover. Bristling with anger, he races towards the troop. Kagosi, the king, doesn't stand for any threat to his authority and soon whips the gang of wannabes into shape. But in the Rockus, a young chimp manages to mate with one of Kagosi's females. He may soon regret his actions. Kagosi is the boss and heads straight for the young offender, his retribution swift and brutal. Such is the way in chimpanzee society. Tough line management is the only way to maintain order. Akina is captivated by his father's tough leadership. During their 6 weeks on high ground, a deadly threat erupts on the parched hillside. Possibly started by farmers hoping to enrich the soil, the bushfire spreads quickly through the dry vegetation. Traveling at walking speed, the flames engulf everything in their path, spreading out across the hillside and trapping the chimps in the trees. After 36 hours, the blaze subsides, leaving a barren wasteland. And there is no sign of the chimps. An advantage of the long-lasting relationships between animals in a chimp colony means wisdom is shared and passed on. Like a phoenix from the ashes, the chimps emerge. They must have known of a sheltered hideout on rocky ground, where they sat it out and waited for the flames to pass. It's time for the troop to make the long journey back to their sheltered valley. It's a relief to get out of the sun and into a leafy canopy, especially as it's laden with figs. The twins are just starting to take solid foods, though it will be supplemented with milk for several more years. Fig trees are always popular with forest inhabitants. Red colobus monkeys love figs, but they harvest them quietly. They don't want to be detected by the sometimes violent chimps. But their cousins, the baboons, seem far less concerned. Around the forest streams, the two species often meet as they stop to quench their thirst. primate groups have their hands full with boisterous youngsters. Chippo gets a tickle from Grandma. Akina's still feeling out in the cold and sulks. Feeling full of mischief, his little cousin taunts a large male baboon, though staying close to the safety of grandmother Ndidi. Akina decides to sneak in on the baboons too. Grandma Ndidi keeps an eye on his antics. It's extremely rare for different species to play together, but Akina has found that young baboons make great playmates. Ndidi doesn't miss a trick. Some baboons are just too big. Grandma encourages the two youngsters to back off and collect Chippo. A well-aimed rock should put an end to it. But then it all kicks off. Chippo tries to pull his grandma away, leaving the baboons to their games. The baboons move back to the water's edge. With dexterous hands, they delicately pick between the rocks of the stream. And this is their quarry. Like the chimps, they have a rich diet. Crabs might be crunchy on the outside, but they are packed with protein. When the chimps arrive at the waterfall, they forget all about food. Running water seems to have a dramatic effect on these highly intelligent primates. It creates great excitement. Coyote displays his braveness, charging through the stream. Of impressed observers who cheer on Coyote's performance from the banks. Looking up to his dad as always, Akina mimics his father's display. Rejuvenated by their paddling, the family finally take time out to relax. For the youngsters, sleeping is boring. This is playtime. Even the twins join in. Akina finds an older playmate. Grandma sits and watches the games. Long in the tooth, she's seen it all before. As the day draws to a close, it's time to make the bed. Every night, chimpanzees make a brand new bed, folding in branches to make a well-cushioned leafy nest. Abili takes extra care. Her mattress needs to support 3. Going it alone, Akina has a go at making a bed for himself. Not a bad first try. The entire colony settles down to sleep at the same time. Nobody really knows how chimps pass the night. Do they sleep soundly? Do they contemplate the beauty of a starry night sky? Or do they dream? Would chimps' dreams be full of games and good eating, or nightmares of Kagosi's tough reign? Does little Akina dream of one day being king? We'll never know. A new day starts with an early morning trip to the beach. Fed by the rich waters of the lake, the bushes here offer a lush salad for breakfast. The baboons are the real beach boys. Every day they beachcomb, using delicate fingers to probe between the rocks. But breakfast is never peaceful if Akina's around. He's imitating the aggressive tactics he's picked up from his father on the local baboons. He needs some target practice. And he must learn not to throw sand upwind. Being forest inhabitants, the chimps don't like bright sunshine and retreat to the shadows, giving their long-suffering neighbours a chance to relax. It's a proper beach party, and there is one perfect way to cool off. The baboons are surprisingly at home in the water, even submerging to play. Not all monkeys have the pleasure of a relaxing afternoon. The colobus live in fear of their much larger cousins. When chimpanzees start creeping around the forest floor, the monkeys need to be particularly alert. As subtly as they can without arousing suspicion, the chimps herd the monkeys into tall and isolated trees. Some of the chimps create circles on the ground and raise a ruckus to scare the monkeys, while the large males begin to climb. They are setting a trap. In some areas, chimpanzees have become specialist monkey hunters, and Kagosi's troop is no exception. They have herded one small group into a trap. At just the right moment, a signal is given and the whole troop advances. Kagosi is the best monkey hunter in the clan, and he leads the attack. Despite weighing 8 or 9 stone, even the biggest males are agile climbers. The monkeys are only a sixth the weight of Kagosi, but they are fearless. The males dashing in to defend their families. For a while, the male monkey is able to hold the attackers at bay. But then Kagosi hurls him from the tree and pursues the females beyond. What he's really after is the babies that these terrified mothers are carrying. But Kagosi misjudges his footing. The mother escapes, and the furious male sulks under the trees. The other chimps continue to drive the monkey clan. Kagosi watches from the ground. They need his help, and the female begs him to return to the hunt. Kagosi can see that the colobus have been cornered. He will give it another try. The hunt is back on. Once again, a brave male colobus rushes in on the defensive. But Kagosi isn't taking any prisoners. Only through its amazing agility does the monkey escape. But now the females are unguarded. In the chaos, an infant is snatched. Death is instantaneous. The remaining monkeys flee for their lives. But as they do, Kagosi spots another opportunity. A second baby is snatched. Meat is the most valuable commodity in chimp society, a currency used to buy respect. The meat will be shared with the whole family, but only if they are willing to beg. A foot massage might help. Akina sucks up to his dad. And is finally rewarded, though only with a stringy tail. As winter approaches, dark clouds bring life-giving rain. Again, water seems to trigger an extraordinary response in the chimps. Kogosi leads the troop in what appears to be a rain dance. Is this just relief that the dry season has come to an end? Or is it something deeper? Just as our earliest ancestors once celebrated the seasons, perhaps chimpanzees are similarly excited by the reviving rains. We'll never know, but this seemingly emotional response to natural forces is unique to our closest relatives. Keen as always to take part in adult activities, Akina watches and then copies his dad. Not all youngsters share his enthusiasm. The twins cling tightly to their mother's chest and sit out the cold shower. The chimps groom to dry out their fur. But the rains bring other changes to the forest that will soon warm them up. The earth has been softened by the downpour, bringing termites to the surface. It's now time for the chimps to go fishing. Tool use is very rare in animals, but chimps have perfected the art. Sticks are carefully manufactured to the perfect size and shape. Akina's straight in to make his own fishing rod. Chippo's not quite so skilled. He decides to watch an expert at work. The twins copy, but without much success. It will take several years of watching the adults before they get the knack. A well-crafted tool can bring up whole mouthfuls of nutty flavoured and nutritious termites. Finally, success! Chippo's catch of the day. Only one termite, but it's a start. The twins have lost interest and play in the trees, but away from Mum, they are an easy target for manipulation. When Akina gets bored and wants the chimps to move on, he simply snatches a baby, knowing that his Aunt Abili will have no choice other than to follow. But Chippo, her elder son, sitting high in the tree canopy, doesn't notice the rest of the clan depart. Once he descends, he finds himself alone. The forest quickly becomes huge and frightening for the little chimp. His soft pleas for help go unanswered. Abili is a good mother. She hasn't gone far. But Chippo doesn't know that. The mother patiently waits for her son to catch up. With the twins growing fast, Chippo will soon need to get used to being more independent. As the clouds clear, a new mood descends on the troop. The males must prepare for their most dangerous duty. The females and their babies aren't invited this time. The males will walk to the furthest borders of their territory. They need to patrol in search of intruders. They groom one another, psyching themselves up for their mission. It's vital that they work as a team. All previous squabbles over females are forgotten. Deep in concentration, they ready themselves. Border patrol can sometimes lead to fatal encounters with other chimps. Their journey begins. Tense, they march single file in silence. Part of the reason that chimps live in big groups is to protect their resources. The rich fruits of the forest belong to them and their females. Freeloaders are not welcome. Their patrol may last several days. While the adult males are gone, Akina's left with only female company. But there is plenty to keep him busy. The rainy season has brought about a transformation of the termite colony. It's their breeding season, and millions emerge as winged warriors to go forth and try to father colonies of their own. A barrage of predators await, and very few will make it. A hawk launches an aerial attack, eating the insects on the wing. Baboons just pluck them off the ground before their flight has even begun. And with a bit of detective work, Akina has managed to go straight to the source. This season of fast food is short-lived. Cram it in while you can. Chippo doesn't know which way to turn, snatching the tasty bugs everywhere he can. Though he must watch his footing, the ground is covered with biting guard termites, trying to protect the emerging flyers. After travelling for several days, Akina's father, Kagosi, and the other males have now reached the ridge on the very edge of their territory. They spread out and scan for trouble. And find it. A gang of intruders has infiltrated their defences. This can only mean one thing. War. During their patrol, the clan has spotted a rival troop on their land. To protect their resources, chimps bellow their war cries. The interlopers run, but Kagosi and his patrol move to intercept them. Pounding their feet and fists on tree trunks, they sound their war drums. The intruders flee, but one of the young chimps gets left behind. The troop descends. Chimpanzees will kill in these disputes over territory. One by one, the defenders take turns to punch and kick. It's a brutal attack, and the intruder is lucky to escape with his life. He'll return to his troop. His injuries a reminder that this stretch of forest is taken. Kagosi and his followers can march back to the troop victorious. Their long trek takes the males through more open grassland, a land of unfamiliar dangers. A 12-foot python quickly gets their attention. Suddenly, Kagosi is running for cover. He's not the tough guy now. A python of this size could kill a chimp, and all the males rush for the trees. As soon as the coast is clear, they head for home and the waiting females. When the border patrol reaches the rest of the clan, they announce their victory with tree drumming. Summoning the females to them, they sit down and wait to be groomed. It's now several months since the birth of his little sister, and Akina finally seems to be standing on his own feet. He's become a headstrong little chimp, now quite confident enough to play with bigger youngsters. He's taken after his father in so many ways. The baboons are still his favourite target practice. Now his aim is getting better. He displays to the bemused baboons as though they were his own troop. When his fearsome father comes smashing through the forest, the rest of the family get out of the way. But not Akina. He shadows his father's every move, perhaps rehearsing for the day when he's old enough to rule the troop himself. At times, chimpanzee society is aggressive and violent, but at its core, it's based on close family bonds. The discipline holds the family together and helps to protect them from danger. Thanks to this tough love, the future's bright for Chippo, the twins, and all the other youngsters in Kagosi's clan. And for Akina, maybe a career path of leadership and power lies ahead. After all, he is his father's son.